It's a blood clot vibe. Lodge up yourself, big up yourself. It's the hostess with the mostest. Select the Selah Shalom's on the 1 and 2s. You know how we do. It's a vibes. Before we get started, family, you already know. You already know the vibes.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Yes, family, make sure to get your bitters. You're done, no. It's your hostess with the mostest, Selah Shalom on the 1s and 2s. You know how we do. You know what I mean? Just decided to get on. I ain't been on in a couple days. Matter of fact, I ain't been on since I've been on Sonetta. And I noticed it's been real quiet ever since I did that European authorship. Niggas was running their mouth. It's been real quiet on the block since I brought that out. Remember Eliara was talking shit. Yo, I'll give him $500, I'll give him $100 if he could prove a European author who authored the Bible and shit. By the time I finished that motherfucking lecture, that nigga was nowhere to be found. He ain't come on, hop on a live and say, yo, Selah, I'll give you $100 if once I finish that goddamn lecture. That nigga was nowhere to be found. You dig? So again, I come over here to level the playing ground every time. Let the rhythm run undertone, you know. Yeah, roll up a nice little spliff. You know what I mean? Nice little spliff. What about big head spliff? But that's another thing that kills me, yo. I know the black conscious community was so Europeanized. I'm like, when have niggas been against weed? Oh, he smoked weed and I'm like, when has niggas been against weed? Y'all niggas is more Europeanized than y'all think, my nigga. All these niggas claiming to be black conscious, but got a problem with niggas smoking weed. Y'all niggas lame as hell, my nigga. Y'all worse than a white man. What's family? What's good, family? I see y'all chiming in. I ain't gonna tell the critic gang I'm on live. I ain't even get to chat. Let me let the niggas know I'm on live. I ain't got no particular topic. Just wanted to hop on. I ain't been on a couple of days. Show my face. Show the people that you know I'm here. I'm good. Salute to the righteous gods and goddesses. Creator gang. You dig? Tell the fam I'm live. One thing I didn't present in the European authorship of the Bible on my presentation that I presented on SAH was the Ethiopian Bible. It was a dude who stuck his head out the window and left a comment and was like, yo, y'all ain't saying nothing about the Ethiopian Bible. And I'm glad he said that. I'm glad he stuck his head out the window and brought up the Ethiopian Bible. Because without a shadow of a doubt, the Ethiopian Bible is just as goddamn European as Rome. All the Ethiopians did was drew images of themselves in the text. You know what I mean? That's all they did. You know what I mean? So let me present that part. The Ethiopian Bible, yo. Nah, the Ethiopian Bible is the oldest. Nigga, sit down somewhere. The Ethiopian Bible doesn't even go back before the Common Era. It doesn't go back before BC. That shit late. That shit comes after the Constantine. Yeah, that shit come after Constantine, my nigga. Like, sit your ass down somewhere. See the fam chiming in? You know what I mean? See the fam chiming in. It's been real quiet. It's been real quiet. Niggas don't want to talk about authorship no more. Niggas don't leave that title alone. Let me leave the authorship alone, because every time we bring up the authorship about John New, bro, this nigga Selah got a plethora of Europeans to bring up to combat yo shit. But like, at the end of the day, man, this is easy work. You know what I mean? This is real easy work. I ain't seen a nigga who had authorship of the Bible yet. Show me a black man who authorized the Bible, nigga. I'll wait. But it's a black man book. Lord shall mind. You go to the Ethiopian Bible. And it's crazy because if you look at the Ethiopian Bible, it starts off with the same Genesis, Exodus, you know what I mean? Ain't shit special about the Ethiopian Bible, other than they just drew themselves on in the joint, in the picture. For those who didn't see that, I see everybody chiming in. Peace to the righteous gods. I see you, kings and queens. I see y'all chiming in. I see y'all. Goddamn squirrel running around on the porch. This is what I did not present in my presentation of European authorship. You know what I mean? I wasn't even considering the Ethiopian Bible when I was presenting this. But somebody stuck their head out the window and said, yo, you ain't mentioned the Ethiopian Bible. So I went and did the homework because they thought they had something by saying the Ethiopian Bible. They thought they was like, oh, well, it's a black book. You know, the Ethiopians is black. So when I went back and did the homework, couldn't find out, shit, them niggas got duped too. Mm-hmm. The Ethiopians got duped too. Now, the Ethiopian Bible inspired by Rome. Now, this is Izana, the king of Aksum at the time. He lived from 320 Common Era to 360 Common Era. That was his life. Now, look what it says, right? It says, Izana is an important, as he is the country's first king to embrace Christianity and make it the official religion. Now, look. That's clear. That's clear as day. He's the first king to embrace Christianity. So he's embracing Christianity, which is a Roman religion, because Constantine already established. Look, he's born in 320. The Council of Nicaea was 325 AD, Common Era. So he was only 5 years old when Constantine was having the Council of Nicaea. So by the time he became a grown adult and he's the first to embrace Christianity, that shows you where the influence came from. Because Constantine made it an established religion, Christianity. And here you have the first king embracing Christianity. You know what I mean? So what does that tell you, my nigga? He came, you know, the Ethiopian Bible ain't original, my nigga. You know what I mean? That shit is just as bad as any other plagiarized Roman book or Bible. So, man, it's really sad, you know what I mean, that a nigga got to beat up their goddamn Bible like this just to get a debate, a chapter and verse, because these niggas is disingenuous. So we have the first king who established Christianity. This cat right here. That's him right there. That's the Bantu Negro out the Congo embracing Rome. Now, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Now, look at this church. Look at it. That's the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Now let's do something real quick. Let me show you something. Let me show you how influential Rome is over Ethiopia, even with the structures. Now look at the Hagia Sophia, the Byzantine church. Now look at this church, right? See this church? This is the Byzantine church. See that? This is a Christian church before Islam. And if you notice, even Islam follow the building structures of the Hagia Sophia. That's the Hagia Sophia. See that? See the Hagia Sophia? See the cross? See the cross? See the church? You see it? You see the influence? The Ethiopian church, in comparison to the Hagia Sophia, you can see the influence. See that? They brought the infrastructure of Rome into Ethiopia. Only thing they're missing is a dome on the top. But you see the influence, you see the cross. You see the cross? Look what it says about the church. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church dates back to the acceptance of Christianity by the kingdom of Aksum in 330 Common Era. So now we have 330, right? Keep in mind, Izana was born in 320. So when he was 10 years old, they already accepted Christianity before he probably was even on the throne as an independent ruler. So King Izana is a little nigga at this time. Constantine, these niggas grown men, they already established Frumentius. Them niggas, he on his way to Ethiopia to establish this. How did Christianity enter Ethiopia? Look at the date. Well, that's the date he died. Say Frumentius. Frumentius died 383 CE. Now, he died a year after the Council of Rome. The Council of Rome, let me go back up to the Council of Rome right here. This is the brother who gave you that right here. Look at this. This is Pope Damascus, 305 to 384. Keep in mind, he died a year after Frumentius. So all these niggas was around the same time. So Frumentius, I'm sure, would have been aware of Damascus. Pope Damasus the first, known as Damasus of Rome, was the Bishop of Rome from October 366 to his death. He presided over the Council of Rome in 382. See that? That determined the canon or official list of sacred scriptures. So this is a year before Frumentius dies that they established this canon. The Council of Rome. Again, the Council of Rome was a synod which took place in Rome in AD 382 under the leadership of Pope Damasus, the then Bishop of Rome. The only surviving councillor pronouncement may be the Galatian Decree that contains a canon of scripture, which was issued by the Council of Rome under Pope Damasus in 382. So 382 is the year that they was like, all right, nigga, this is what we gonna select. This is what we having. So now coming back to Frumentius, look at the date of Frumentius' death. 383. He dies a year after the Council of Rome. But what is he known for? And keep in mind, like we talked that shit, like Malachi Maccabee say, nigga, this ain't no Bantu Negro from the Congo. This is not an African. He looked like a goddamn Ashkenazi Jew. When you find out a Sephardic Ashkenazi Jew came into Ethiopia and gave y'all niggas the religion. But nonetheless, he ain't no Jew. He a Greek. He could be, because there's a lot of Macedonians disguising as goddamn Jews, Greeks. Now look what it says. He was a Greek that was born in Tyre. So he was a Greek born in Tyre. So he's not an Israelite. He's not one of the lost tribes coming to find the lost tribes of Israel and Ethiopia. No, this nigga was a Greek. Frumentius was a Phoenician Greek Christian missionary and the first bishop of Axum, who brought Christianity to the kingdom of Axum. See that? He brought the shit to Ethiopia. They also began to teach Christianity in the region. Later, Frumentius traveled to Alexandria, Egypt, where he appealed to have a bishop appointed and missionary priest sent south to Axum thereafter. He was appointed bishop and established a church in Ethiopia, converting many local people as well as the king, which was Izana. His appointment began a tradition that the Patriarch Alexandria appointed the bishop of Ethiopia. So now, this is how Christianity came into Ethiopia, because they say, well, Christians or Ethiopia is one of the earliest forms of Christianity. Well, nigga, that's how you got it. Not only is it the earliest form of Christianity in Ethiopia, it was hand-delivered by Frumentius, who was a Phoenician, a Roman Phoenician. And not only that, this is how it filtered into Africa. If Christianity is the oldest, if Ethiopia is the oldest Christian, right? That means any Christianity that is flourishing in Africa as of today spawned from this man here. If you got Christianity in South Africa, if you got Christianity in West Africa, this man is responsible for that. How did you get Christianity in West Africa? It had to start with Ethiopia. If the Ethiopians are the oldest Christians or the oldest ones to accept Christianity and build temples and all that or whatever, that means the flourishing of Christianity flourished throughout Africa from Ethiopia. How else would it gotten to Africa and flourished if it didn't start with Ethiopia first? So what does that tell you? Ethiopia was the first house niggas to accept Christianity, to accept slave master. Y'all big at Ethiopia, oh, Ethiopia, but these were the first niggas to accept your slave master religion. Don't talk to me about no goddamn Ethiopia when they was the first to accept slave master religion based off your logic. When the white man came to America, what religion they brought? Christianity. The exact same way this nigga came looking here is the exact same way the Christian mercenaries came to the Americas. Christian missionaries. Let's see. I'll show you something. Let me see. Look at this. See what pulls up. See that? See the Christian? See him? See him holding the cross? See the natives? See the natives and see the man bringing Christianity to the Americas? See that? See if I can find some more. The white man, look at him. Look at him teaching his Christianity to the copper-colored natives here. Right? Look at him. See, Jesus goeth this way. Follow the Lord. He's trying to bring Christianity to these indigenous people in Americas. The same way Frumentius did in Ethiopia, but 3rd century Common Era. These niggas in the Americas got duped within the 15th, 16th century Common Era. The Ethiopian got duped in the 3rd century Common Era. They've been duped. Been duped. Don't show me no Ethiopian Bible that says, look at the pictures. Look at the pictures of them. And then if you look at the Ethiopian Bible and some of them pictures, them niggas don't look like no Bantu Negroes from the Congo. Them niggas look like mixed Arabs. Watch this. Look at this. It's the Ethiopian Bible. Look at that. They don't look like no Bantu Negroes. Look at that. This is the Ethiopian Bible. That don't look like no Bantu Negro from the Congo. They were supposed to jet blacken that nigga right there. And this is the Ge'ez language right here, right? But look what it say. Look what it say. Let's get to the language. Oh, look. It's in Ge'ez. That's the original. That's the... Man, shut your ass down somewhere. Now look at the language. Look what it says Frumentius did. Look. In about 347 Common Era, right? Now this is after the Council of Nicaea. Athanasius ordained Frumentius bishop and commissioned him to what? Initiate the cultural adaptation of Greek Christianity's biblical liturgical text to Ethiopian symbols and languages. See that? So what you got here with all these symbols and languages, it came from Athanasius ordained Frumentius. So Athanasius and Frumentius is behind your Ethiopian Bible looking like this and being depicted like this. See the pictures? See that? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. You got some copper-colored Negroes. But then look here, though. Who this nigga? Who that? That don't look like no Bantu Negroes of the Congo. That damn near look like Frumentius. This nigga look like Frumentius a little bit. The older version of Frumentius before the nigga died and shit. But again, look what it stated. Look what it stated about the literature and the symbols. See that? This nigga Athanasius ordained Frumentius bishop and commissioned him. Like, I'm telling you to do this. I'm commanding you to initiate the cultural adaptation. The cultural adaptation of Greek Christianity. Look at that. Biblical liturgical text to Ethiopic symbols and languages. Come on, nigga. That's a death blow right there. That's a hard pill to swallow. So now every time you look at these images is influence. Look at this brother. He probably don't even know the history. A lot of these Ethiopians today may not even be aware of Frumentius. They just following the script. Just like most of these niggas today. They don't know who authorized the Bible. They just following the script. Can't damn nigga come up to me and say, I know who authorized the Bible. You don't. You don't know who Moses is. You only read about him in the Bible. You can't prove him outside the Bible. So if you can't show me the author, that means, nigga, we could speculate on to the farthest extremes how this book came about, who wrote these stories. Anybody could have wrote them. You don't know that because you don't have an author. And we can't assume anything, right? But look at these pictures. Look at the symbol. See the symbol? Look at this. The oldest surviving Bible. Sit down. See that? What did it say right here? Initiate. Athanasius ordained Frumentius to initiate the cultural adaptation of Greek Christianity, biblical, liturgical text to Ethiopian symbols and languages. And we see it. Look at the Bantu Negro from the Congo holding the Roman book. Y'all want to talk about OAHSPE? Look at this nigga holding the oldest goddamn European Bible. And all they did was just drew pictures of themselves to make themselves feel part of the story. Look at Jesus right here. That don't look like no Bantu Negro from the Congo. Look at that right there. Look at the halo around his head, so you know it's Jesus. Or if you want to say Yeshua. Look at these elders up here. They don't look like him. Him don't look like him over here. But y'all so stuck on the Ethiopia. Or the Ethiopian Bible, Ethiopia. Man, sit your ass down somewhere. You niggas got hoodwinked the same. And I'm just calling it for what it is. Look at that. That don't look like no Bantu Negroes. But all we know, a lot of Ethiopians is mixed up too. You got to remember the history of the land of Africa, especially during the dynastic times. Egypt got a dynastic reign of 4,000 years of invaders coming in from Asia. So the Ethiopian you see today is a melting pot of mixture. They mix with Arab, Asiatic. The only original niggas in Africa, them dark brown, them Bantu Negroes from the Congo. Ethiopians is mixed up. Them niggas got straight and curly hair. Where'd that come from if these niggas got knotty, hard, kinky, coarse hair? I ain't never seen an apple tree produce an orange tree. If my hair nappy, my mother's hair was nappy, and my father's hair was nappy. Their hair is not going to be nappy, and I come out with straight, stringy hair. I ain't never seen no shit like that happen. Never. Unless your mother or your father got straight, stringy hair, you may come out with the straight, stringy hair based off one of your parents having it. But if neither parents have stringy hair, your hair gonna come out exactly like your parents, kinky and hard. So where did these stringy hair Ethiopians come from? And I'm just speaking historically. You talking about the European raping Africans in the Americas and creating mulattoes. Nigga, think about how much that been going on in Africa. With the men, what's east of Africa? East of Africa is what? Persia, India. You got Greece, Macedonia in the north. You got all those races coming into Egypt back then, producing mulattoes back then, which never left the land. So you're looking at some of these Ethiopians thinking that they original, not knowing now, nigga, these niggas is mixed, just like these goddamn some of these niggas over here. But nonetheless, look at the images. Look at the images. Let's read that again. Anastasia ordained Frumentius to initiate the cultural adaptation of Greek Christianity, biblical liturgical texts to Ethiopic symbols, and languages. Let me put in Ethiopia Bible symbols. See that? See that? Them Romans left a mark. Look at that. That damn near looked like the flag of Constantine. Hold up now. Y'all niggas done open up a can of worms. Let's scoot back up to Constantine, because that flag looked familiar. Let me show you what I'm talking about. At the Battle of Milvian Bridge. Watch this right here. Well, it's not so much a flag. I was about to say, as a matter of fact, let me see something real quick. Yeah, we just freestyling today, Bob, and we on top of the Ethiopian Bible. Because niggas thought the Ethiopian Bible was an African book, and I'm showing you that nigga it's influenced the same way. It's influenced the same way. I hear my dog walking away. Constantine's vision of the Christ, the cross. No, I thought this drape right here was some like a sheet. I'm about to say, I thought that was a sheet dropping. I'm about to say, nigga, there you go right there. There go the European influence right there in Ethiopia. The cross, the symbols. Initiate what? The symbols to the languages. Let's go back to Frumentius. So this is the guy right here. See that? That nigga holding the first Ethiopian Bible right there. He holding the first Ethiopian Bible in his hand. You know what I mean? This is the Bible he brought to Ethiopia. Was like, all right, niggas, this is the book y'all niggas gonna accept. I'm gonna go ahead and I need one of you niggas who's nice with the linguistics to translate this into Latin, into Ge'ez. That's what they did. Ethiopian Bible ain't no original text. Well, so again, initiate cultural adaptation of Greek to Ethiopia symbols and links. The link between the Ethiopian Coptic and Ethiopian Church. The link between the Egyptian Coptic and Ethiopian Church having thus established, Frumentius returned to Ethiopia to set up his episcopal seat and erect churches. These niggas did this. They did this. Erect the church. You know all that hype they talk about the church, the Ethiopian church, the cross, with the cross coming out the ground, nigga. He behind that. Let's put an oldest Ethiopian church. See what we get. See what we get. Oldest Ethiopian church right here. The Lela Bella. Right? And this came late too. Let's see. According to local tradition, Lela Bella, traditionally known as Roha, was founded during the Zagwa dynasty under the rule of Gebri Muskel Lela Bella. Look at the date, 1181 to 1220. This is recent, and this is the oldest church. Frumentius is the 3rd century Common Era. This is the 11th, 12th century Common Era. This is way later. And this is classified as the oldest right here. So if this is the oldest church, and this is the 11th, 12th century CE Common Era, and Frumentius brought Christianity into Ethiopia, and then erected churches, this would be influential of Frumentius. This church, classified as the oldest church in Ethiopia. Oh, this is Frumentius. Look at this. This shit look Roman right here. This shit look Roman. They got the pillars. Look at that. Look at this Bantu Negro in the Congo standing right here. But look behind him. Look at the church. Look at the cross. What did it say right here? What did it say? Right here. Frumentius returned to Ethiopia to set up his episcopal seat and erect churches. So if he erected churches in the 3rd century Common Era, and the oldest Ethiopian church we could find is coming from the 11th century, 12th century Common Era. Look at that. Look at that. Look at these brothers. Look at these brothers. They got duped. They got duped into Christianity by this guy. This guy. This nigga don't look like these niggas. These niggas damn near look like the Israelites. You know how the Israelites always depicting the Messiah with skin of brass burnt in the oven with white hair? Look at that. That's Mashiach right there. But the Mashiach, the Ethiopian, got duped the same way these niggas got duped in the Christianity. Shows you how long they've been sojourning their Christian philosophy throughout the land. First in Ethiopia, and look how far they got to the Americas by the time you get to the 15th century. Same message. The same way the natives is looking at them and thinking, embracing the doctrine. Look at this nigga right here looking up like, oh man, he's so deep. The same way they got duped over here by this guy, Frumentius. He's the godfather of Christianity. See that? In Ethiopia. This is an episcopal, which is the seat. Bishop's seat of authority. That's what it means. Episcopal means bishop, seat of authority. That's what it looked like. See that? This is what they built in Ethiopia. So the bishop, one of these niggas right here, will sit in the chair. Will sit in the chair looking like a royal one. But this is Episcopal. The bishop. Bishops come out of Rome. So now you have Ethiopian Rome, you have Ethiopian influenced by Rome building Episcopals, but now you got these cats sitting on it with faces that they put of themselves to make themselves feel part of the fold when they had nothing to do with you in the first place because the shit came out of Rome. Look at this. Ancient Ethiopian scroll. Look at the cross. Look at the influence. See the cross? See the symbols? See the symbols? Look at that. Amharic. See the symbol? Let's see something. See what else it say. Look at this. Look at this. Right here. Look at that. Ethiopian traditions credit him, Frumentius, with the first Ge'ez translation of the New Testament. Look at that. Let's stop right there. Translation. So what you have right here, where is it? What you have right here is a translation into Ge'ez. See that? Amharic Bible, Ethiopian language, Old and New Testament. Look at that. Look at the script. See that? Look at the canticles. Those canticles was already established when they got the book. Ain't no Ethiopian scribe sit around and select Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus. Ain't them Ethiopian scribe authorized translation or compiling of the canon. The same way we can show you how Damascus canonized the Bible from the Old and the New Testament. You can't show me one Ethiopian that canonized the Bible. Bad drop. But there you go. There were the books right there. Who did this? Who gave him that translation? Who gave him that original translation? Who did that? Frumentius. See that? See that? See the symbol? That's all they did was they drew themselves in the book. But the book came already and playing like, all right, y'all niggas don't translate it. Matter of fact, Frumentius probably drew them goddamn pictures. Because look, Ethiopian traditions credit him, Frumentius, with the first Ge'ez translation of the New Testament. So he inspired all this, the drawings in it, the symbols. Y'all niggas got Greek symbols in Ethiopia now. And they proud of that, yo. Proud of the book. Proud of this Roman book. They proud of this Roman book right here. Look at that. I would love to sit down and ask him, yo, do you know who brought this Bible into Ethiopia? Have you heard of Frumentius? If that nigga say no, boy, he got duped like a mob. You've been duped. Just like the rest of us. Look at that. This is in the text now. Look what it say. Christian Ethiopian art. I wonder who influenced them. The nigga Frumentius was like, you know what? Make the skins a little lighter. They're a little too black. Lighten them up a little bit, like myself. Make them look like me. That's Frumentius talking to the Ethiopians about how to draw the pictures and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, family. Give me a 1 in the chat if y'all getting that little understanding. Just a little taste. Just a little taste of Wagwan. Give me a 1 in the chat, family, because we showing and proving that the Ethiopian Bible is no different than any other Bible, influenced by Rome. Zechariah, where you see, King? I see you, beloved. Creator only all day, family. Where you say, big man? Lodge up yourself. See the fam chiming in. It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family. So now these niggas ain't got nowhere to go. They can't say the black man authorized the Bible, that they can't prove it. They can't say the Ethiopian Bible is black. I just showed you. Frumentius brought that shit in there. Under commissioned by Athanasia. Commissioned by Athanasia. Let me see if they got a picture of Athanasia. Let me see. Hold up. Since these niggas so black powerish and so goddamn blackity black, we're gonna show you how whitety white these niggas really is with their doctrine. Because only reason we doing this is to level the playing ground. Level the playing ground to show these niggas, like, bro, we don't give a damn about no white man, black man. Good is fucking good and bad is fucking bad, period, nigga. Period, nigga. You see a picture if they got an Anastasia. All right, now this is the nigga. It's the nigga who commissioned. Hold on, let me give you goddamn. This is Frumentius right here, right? This Frumentius. This is the man who commissioned Frumentius right here. This him right here. Athanasia. You know, I can't pronounce these goddamn Greek ass, Roman ass names and shit. I still got my African tongue, niggas. I'm like Athanasia. Give me some African shit, nigga. I pronounce that shit fluently. No. But they go the dude who sent, this is the guy right here, Athanasia, who sent Frumentius into Ethiopia to school these niggas right here. See the chain wheel? Let me put the shit in order. Put the shit in order. So this guy sent this guy to educate these guys about Christianity. And today we see the influence right here. We see the Bantu Negroes from the Congo as Uncle fucking Toms, as house niggas to Christianity. See that? These are ancient Kemites right here. These are ancient Nubians and Ethiopians that was on the wall of ancient Kemet. Now look at them. They took on the identity of Christianity. And Anastasia. Anastasia called Athanasius the Great, the confessor among Coptic Christianity, was a Christian theologian and the 20th patriarch of Alexandria. Hold on. See if we can. All right, there. Let me see. All right, there we go. Anastasia was a church father, the chief proponent of Trinitarianism against Arianism. So he was against the black man. He was against the African. Anastasia was against the Arianist doctrine, which was that Jesus Christ had a beginning. So that means that if he was against Arianism, that means he was with the opposing view, which was that Jesus and the Father existed co-eternal together. That would have been Anastasius' view if he was against Arianism. And a noted Egyptian Christian leader of the 4th century. See that? Look at that. Egyptian. That's how he found his ass in the goddamn Ethiopia. Look at that, yo. Born in Rome, Egypt. See that? Egypt had influence over Rome at this time. Notable works: First Letter to Serapion, Life of Antonio. What's that? On the Incarnation. All right, he got a couple notable works. Look at that. Language: Coptic, Greek. See that? See, I told you these niggas they can speak more than one language. Some of these niggas. So if this nigga wanted to translate something in Greek and Coptic, he could do it. And we just read how Frumentius translated the Ge'ez in the New Testament from Ge'ez to Ge'ez. So that's interesting because matter of fact, let me get Frumentius, see if that nigga spoke more than one language. Because if he did, that's it. That's it. Ain't nothing else to talk about. Let's see if this fella, right, that's enough of the Ethiopian symbols. Let's see if he spoke any other languages. He's a Greek. Look what it say. Confessor, Bishop of Aksum, Apostle to Ethiopia. Look at that. All right, they don't have if he spoke several languages or not. No, it's not much on him. It's not much on Frumentius. But nonetheless, he's responsible. Or, because in the text it says, look what it says in the text, right? Ethiopia traditions credit him, Frumentius, with the first Ge'ez translation of the New Testament. So let's say he could not, speak the language or whatever. Anastasia, knowing Coptic and Greek, could have been one of the helpers, translators, because he's a commission, because Frumentius is commissioned by Anastasia, and Anastasia could speak Coptic and Greek. So he more likely probably would have helped with some of the translation in the Ge'ez. Yeah, this is interesting. So we're showing you the influence that Rome has over Ethiopia. Rome is a bad mother sucker, yo. You know what I mean? Rome is a bad boy. Yeah, because he would have adapted and learned the language. Because Frumentius was a goddamn servant under the Ethiopians. He was a captive. So more likely, when you know what I mean, you definitely would adapt and learn the language. Well, he said, now I see why. Now I know why Selassie called himself a white man. Yeah, they mixed up, yo. You got to keep in mind. I'm gonna pull up a picture of ancient Egyptians, the nations of ancient Egypt back then. Now look, let me pull up this, right? Now look at this. These are depictions of the different nationalities in Egypt back then, right? You got your Nubians, you got your copper colored, you got the dark brown, but then you got these pales over here, right? And I'm sure these niggas was mixing up back then. So when you look at somebody like Selassie, right, for example. So now look at these brothers right here, right? Look at these brothers for a minute. Right now, who would these brothers match up with on here? They'll match up with the Nubians. Because Ethiopia is Nubia. Oh, that's the same shit. And look how dark-skinned these brothers is. See that? Till this day, they still match up skin-wise with the Nubians on here. And then you got your lighter shades. And then you got your pale, right? But when you look at Selassie, highly I, jaw over I and I, look what you get. See that? See that? That's not a Bantu Negro from the Congo. And that's not even taking a shot. That's just being real. See that? Salute to the I and I. Big up. But he has more of Arab features. Now let me pull up a picture of some Arabs. Watch this. Look at the Arabs. See that? You can fit Selassie right among the Arabs. Hold on. Look at that. Even the black Arabs. Fit them right among them. See that? Selassie can fit right among the Arabs. Right? But then when you put in African Congo, look at that. See the difference? See the difference? These are Congolese. These are African Congolese. See that? Very different. Very different. But how did Selassie ended up becoming looking like this? It was because back here, they've been in Egypt. The Asiatics was in Egypt back then. You see the lighter skins in the pictures. See that? So the mixing started back then. And then when we come to today, these are the results of the admixture of what they would call the invaders back then, the Asiatics, the Tamhu, as they say, the Northerners. And they interbred with these people, the indigenous African, Congo. Look at that. See that? Very different from that. Big difference. See that? These are your original Hamites, ancient Egyptians. These people are them right here on the wall. That's them to this day. Right here. The Negro would be goddamn, hold on. That'll be the Negro right there of today. The niggas in the copper-colored niggas of Egypt. You got different shades of brown. Look at that. Those are the Nubians right there. These people are these people. See that? Till this day. They ain't gone nowhere. Everybody in ancient times is still here to this day. They still in the land. They engulfed in Islam and Christianity. Frumentius and Muhammad. Frumentius is responsible for bringing Christianity into Africa, and Muhammad is responsible for bringing Islam into Africa. The two fashions right there. Look at that. Very different from this. And his family tree. Well, he's definitely a black man, but he's a mixed black man. Nonetheless, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. That's what they label him in Ethiopia. I mean, but look at the influence. Look at this. See the cross? See the symbol of the cross of Christianity? Influence? See that? Yes. Selah was a Christian, in case you didn't know. Yes, very much so. No, that's hard right there. Look at that. This day in history, coronation of Haile Selassie. Look at that. Look at the royalty, though. Look at the King of Kings, I am. You know what I mean? Like a God sitting upon him throne right there, king. That's why Rastas are so caught up calling this man he's God. Because they're under the biblical prophecy that a man from the east is going to set up the King of Kings, Lord of Jah. This is Jah incarnate to some Rastas, yo. So they fall under the same falsehood as the Christians with in taking that Jesus Christ is the Almighty. I know some Rasta niggas that'll fight your ass to the death if you disrespect Selassie and say he not Jah. Yo, it's some niggas, I'm telling you, I know some Caribbean Rasta niggas, because I'm West Indian and I'm in the community. It's some niggas that ain't hearing what you talking about, yo. You say anything out of the way. Like, even what I'm talking right here, some of these niggas will take this very offensive. I ain't even gonna hold you. But as a Caribbean man myself, so I know how to clash with them fellas there in the king. It is nothing for me to deal with my people, them is Caribbean people. I know how to deal with them. If you're not Caribbean and you ain't been around them, just fall the fuck back. Because shit could turn left quick. And you could be bleeding quick. Because these niggas is very aggressive, man. They're not gonna sit around and argue with you. They're gonna stand on what they stand on and do harm to you if you don't know how to deal with the situation. That's what I'm saying. I done clashed, you know what I mean, with the Rastas plenty of times. Good and bad, you know what I'm saying? Had a nigga about to run back to the car, get his grip and all that. Rasta nigga. Badman. Niggas is like, yo, nigga, like, that nigga just left like he about to go grab the strap. Nigga, like, what's the only thing next to do is do two things. Either get the fuck up out of there, blast his ass before he get back. That's how upset some of these niggas will get, yo. I'm telling you. They just as bad as the Muslims. You know what I mean? Like, you say anything out the way or critique or give your, you know what I mean, critical thinking to a situation, niggas take that shit offensive. But it is what it is. Nonetheless, nigga Selassie, the King of Kings of Ethiopia. But you see the Christian influence, case in point. You see the Christian influence. You see the influence of Frumentius. And look what else Frumentius is responsible for. Oldest monastery of Ethiopia. When they built them in the churches. Look, he was responsible for that. The converted and baptized King Izana, who built many churches and spread Christianity throughout Ethiopia. See that? King Izana. That's the sellout. He brought slave master religion into Ethiopia. He brought the false god of the Bible into Ethiopia. This nigga brought Luamung into Ethiopia. That's how Luamung got into Ethiopia and got his way in his footstool in Africa with his doctrine, through this nigga. King Ezana. Then converted and baptized King Ezana, who built many churches and spread Christianity throughout Ethiopia. Frumentius established the first monastery of Ethiopia called Daba Salima. But look at that, Salama. Look at that. Frumentius established the first, not King Ezana. You would think the king, being that he the indigenous nigga to the land, at least let him, lay the foundation at least. Nah, the Greek Macedonian. This nigga is Macedonian. Frumentius is Macedonian. That's what Greeks are. Greeks are Macedonians. That's where they originate from, Macedonia. They sprang up out of nowhere after the Greek Dark Ages, 11th, 12th century before Common Era. See, when we put that shit on the timeline, it's there. But look, though, the first monastery of Ethiopia. This is the monastery. Let me see if I can pull this up in another picture on Google. Yeah, man, this shit, it gets deep when you think about it. Because at one minute, everybody was about to give these niggas the pass. Like, oh yeah, Ethiopia, Nah, dog. I'm going to get hoodwinked the same blood clot way. Look at that. Look at that. See right here. See that? This is Frumentius influence right here, the first monastery. Look where they built it at. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Caves and tunnels as Christians' sacred spots. They over there in them caves calling on Louis. They calling on that boy Christ. Because keep in mind, Anastasia was against Arianism. So because there was only two views at the time. At the Council of Nicaea, there was dispute in two views. The first view was that Jesus Christ was co-eternal with the Father and has no beginning. And the second view was that Jesus Christ had a beginning. And there's the second view that Arius took, or that was his view, that was his argument, that Jesus Christ had a beginning. He came into the world through the womb of a woman. But Anastasia and them boys, or the opposing view that Constantine established, was that Jesus Christ was co-eternal with the Father. That's why you got niggas believing that in the beginning was the Word and the Word was with God. And niggas will say, what? That's Jesus. That was disputed during the first Council of Nicaea. And the Nicene Council agreed that Jesus was co-eternal with the Father. And today you got these silly ass niggas believing that because of Constantine. Because of Constantine. But here you got these niggas crawling in caves, praying to Christ. Because you think Frumentius say come in there and preach Christ? They was like, yo, Christ is in the beginning with the Father. They were preaching that to these Ethiopians. That's what they got their head filled with. You know what I mean? So this is the earliest influence of Ethiopia, these monasteries built up in the mountains, influenced by Frumentius. So that goes to show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. You feel me? You feel me? That goes to show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. And look what the people called him. The people called Frumentius revealer of light, father of peace. And he became the first Abuni, a title given to the head of the Ethiopian Church. That's how they looked at Frumentius, the revealer of light. He was the revelator. John the Revelator, he was the John the Revelator of light to the Ethiopians. Because what light did he bring to them? He brought them the goddamn Bible. And especially the New Testament. Especially the New Testament. They already established that Jesus Christ is co-eternal with the Father. So they come into Ethiopia with that doctrine. They come into King Izana like, hey, nigga, sit down. Let me tell you something. It's this nigga named G. You know the Palestinian nigga Jesus, right? Yeah, that nigga co-eternal with the Father. And I got the book of this nigga life right here. What I need you to do is translate this shit nigga ease, get your people to bow down, worship Rome, or you're going to get your head chopped off. And what we have today, damn near 2,000 years later, Christianity established all throughout the heart of Africa. Christianity dominated Africa until the advent of Islam, until the rise of Islam, until the rise of Muhammad, the Mohammedans. And they started giving a little trouble to Luamung and Christianity. Yeah, family. First East translation of the New Testament. Yeah, man. So these brothers right here, you know what I mean? They got duped, just like us over here. Look at the cross. You see Jesus hanging on the cross? They even got Jesus on the cross. What he doing up there? What they doing with that? Who brought that? Exactly. Look at that. Look at the cross with Jesus hanging on the cross. Even OAHSPE say he was stoned to death. Capital punishment in Rome was this shit right here. Nigga, hang your ass on a cross. They showing you the influence of Rome. They're depicting the so-called black man who's supposed to be a Hebrew of the tribe of Judah being lynched on the cross by his own people. It was the Jews that said crucify him. Polite was about to let the nigga go. The Jews pressed Polite. Polite said, I'm going to scourge the nigga. The Romans end up crucifying the nigga according to what the Jews wanted, his own people, black people. So you have 2,000 years later, Ethiopians holding up the crucifixion that the Jews wanted as a symbol of your redemption. Something ain't right here. Something ain't right here. Long story short, the Ethiopians got duped the same way the goddamn Native Americans got duped, and the same way we got duped in Christianity. They got us all. Ain't nobody come out unscathed. Luamung got us all. Luamung a cold nigga, man. Luamung a cold nigga, yo. Luamung, out of all the gods, Luamung is, it says in the OAHSPE, will be the most hated gods that has ever been. I was like, good Lord. You know what type of hell that's going to create? Once you find out the truth about Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, once you find out that nigga is a fictional character, and that the stories were compilations selected and chosen to create this character, you go into heaven with the belief you're going to see Jesus Christ and ain't nobody going to be up there? That's crazy. Run the rhythm. That's crazy. Jeebus. You say, Cosmo, the white boy gave them their whole religion and they got the nerve to talk about John Balanu, bro. That's what I'm saying, King. That's exactly what I'm saying, and that's why we doing this. That's why we on the necks of these niggas, because they running around saying that the Bible is a black man book. First of all, they got to prove the first author of the book. They can't do that. Can't name one of these niggas do it. If they would have did it, that would have been established. Now, according to the Bible, we know that it say Moses was. In order to know that for it to be true, we got to identify who Moses was. And then we got to identify a Torah, which is laws and instructions, the Leviticus, because the laws and instructions is the Leviticus laws. That would have to be proven in the 5th century before Common Era. 15, basically, you would have to show evidence of that at the 12th dynasty. During the 12th dynasty, at the ending of the 12th dynasty, and the beginning of the New Kingdom, you would have to show evidence of the Leviticus laws carved on papyrus or stone, and there is none. The Senya inscriptions, forget about it. That's not laws and instructions. That's not a set of laws. There's not even the 10 Commandments in the Senya inscriptions. I know about that. Been on that years ago. It said, what's to say? Polite was known to be the most brutal governor appointed over Judea. Yeah. And see, that's what I'm saying. The Hebrew doctrine you have today, now I'm starting to see what Cosmo Cal was saying. He said, nigga, you're not the real Israelites. The Israelites that you see today, the Israelis, the Zionists and the Judaism and the Ashkenazi Jews and the Sephardic Jews, what you have there is converts. Hyrcanus, John Hyrcanus, in the 2nd century BC, converted the Edomites. They had to take on circumcision in order to be considered a Jew. So 2nd century BC, you already had converts of Edomites back then. That's 2nd century BC. By the time you get to Herod and Herod's father Antipater, which is within the 1st century BC, before Common Era, right? They're given Roman citizenship by Caesar. So now you have convert Jews that have been reigning for at least a century. Now they have Roman citizenship and tax-free. This is the Herodian dynasty and the Herodian family. They was in bed with the Romans. Those Pharisees and Sadducees of that day that was against Yeshua, those were the Edomite Jews. Those wasn't the Bantu Negroes out the Congo. It may have been a couple of Bantu Negroes out the Congo within there. But for the most part, those were the convert Edomite Jews who had Roman citizenship, who was in bed with the Romans. That's why, you know what I mean? When they offered, what's the nigga, 30 shekels of gold and shit, ain't no Nazarenes running around caked up like that. Ain't no hard-body Israelites going against Rome caked up like that. But the Pharisees, niggas was in bed with the Romans. The Sadducees, these niggas was in bed with the Romans. Because these were the converts. So now, that takes place. 70 AD roll around. Jerusalem is destroyed. And then the dispersal takes place. But notice, when the dispersal takes place, after the dispersal, you have Jews that are still writing in the land of Judea, in the land of Israel, I should say, right above Nazarene, Sepphoris. Nigga over here writing the Mishnah. And then it spreads over into Rome. So you had two doctrines floating at the time. You have the Edomite Jews who became the Pharisees. And then after the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD, they became the rabbinical Jews. Rabbinical Judaism, those branch of people, that family tree of those people are the ancient Pharisees and Sadducees of the 1st century time of Yeshua. Those were the niggas that was saying, crucify Yeshua. Yeshua being a bit of Bantu Negro at the Congo looking nigga. If he was a Nazarite and had to have his locks grow, he had to have coarse hair. They described him as copper color. So let's say he was a Bantu Negro from the Congo and he's surrounded by Eastern Parkway Jews. That's against him. That would make sense to have a hate for him like that. Because you don't see Jews hating themselves like aggressively, like, Urgh. But another race, another nation that's claiming to be the same in the same landmass. Because you remember Hyrcanus and them were supposed to be the original Jews. And they told the Edomites, the Idumeans, that, yo, in order to be part of us, if you want to even mimic us, you got to convert, first take the circumcision, and you got to come up under this fold. You got to learn this truth. And many of them did that back then. So by the time you come to Yeshua, they already goddamn fully engaged as being full-body Jews. They garbed up. They got the Torah, the Tanakh, I mean. They're reading from the scrolls. But these are the converts. And a lot of the converts may have forgot the agreement of Hyrcanus in the 2nd century BC and thinking that they're descendants of Abraham or descendants of Jacob. Or basically the true Israelites, because they are descendants of Jacob and Abraham. But as far as being the chosen, that's the claim. That's the claim to fame, being the chosen. So now they engraft themselves with the chosen, are part of the chosen, and now are the chosen. So by the time you come to the 1st century, they got authority in Judea under Horeb the Great. Horeb was a Jew. See that? He was classified as a Jew, an Edomite Jew. And they was in bed with the Romans. See that? Through his father, Antipater. Antipater and Caesar, them niggas got cool. Caesar was like, yo, all right, because Antipater helped them out in the war. And being that he helped them out in that war, he said, yo, you know what, Antipater, I'm gonna give you free citizenship. And then I'm gonna give you tax-free of Rome. Tax-free. You ain't gotta pay no taxes. But you can collect the taxes though. See that? So the Jews you see today are them same Jews who converted. And those are the same Jews, the rabbinical Jews, who wrote the Mishnah, who wrote the Talmud, the Jerusalem, the Babylonian, the Apello, all the manuscripts from 70 AD coming on down. All that is the European Jews. And that's dealing with the Judean side of scripture. I'm showing you how it had European Judean influence with Hebraic scripture. Not talking about the Latin Vulgate and the Greek Septuagint and the Latin Vulgate and then coming on from the European side. I'm giving you the Jewish European side. So you niggas is fucked on both ways. Whether if you want to talk Hebrew, it's still European based, or whether if you want to talk scripture or biblical translations coming from Rome, it's still European based. So you niggas is double fucked. You can't say nothing about John Balanu, bro, in the OAHSPE when you niggas is double fucked on both sides. Whatever translation you want to go to, whether it be English, Latin, Greek, back to Hebrew, all of it is European, nigga. What are you talking about? And then not only is it European, your God in that Bible is false. Y'all dealing with a false God. We dealing with historicity right now. Don't let us get the goddamn scripture and start pulling scripture out. Start beating up your God. Your double-minded God. Do we need to show some double-minded scriptures of your God? Let's get on their God for a minute. The authorship is of no more. There's no more talk of authorship. Now it's time to get on their God from here on out. You dig? Give me a one in the chat if y'all getting this understanding, family. Let me grab us something to drink real quick, fellas. Give me a one in the chat, family, if y'all feeling the vibe. Yes, family. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let's vibe until I get the scriptures ready. It's some blood clot vibes. Yes, family. We locked in. We locked in. Selah, Shalom. Selecta. Run the rhythm. I'm getting the scriptures, family. Now there is some truth to that. That's why I said in that first century, you had the Bantu Negroes there, the Bantu Negro Hebrews in that first century, along with the Edomite Jews you see today. So it was a melting pot back then. Yeah, you can say that. And it goes with them too. That goes for the Negro and that goes for the European Jew because they was kicked out of kicked out of Spain. They had to that's how they found the state of Israel. They were vagabonds. At least them niggas got a whole state. You know what I mean? These niggas got a whole state, nigga. We still over here thriving in the Americas trying to figure it out. But no, I feel you though. It go both ways, really. Look at this, man. Let's get to it. Now look what it say. This is 1 Kings, right? And he said, "Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne." Look at that. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne. What does that tell you? That tells you that anybody, because you remember Frumentius brought this Bible into Ethiopia. So now that the Ethiopians have converted and believing this, their concept of the Most High has now been reduced to a man sitting on a throne. This is what the Romans did to Africa. If any African, whatever they was believing before, it has now been replaced with this: the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. So to get a picture of this, to get a depiction, because it's objectively giving us something to look at. God sitting on his throne. Let's see. Let's see what this looks like. Now, look at this. Perfect. Perfect picture right here. Let's look at this depiction. Let's look at this depiction, and then let's read. Let's read. Now look. That's God. You laughing, but you can't, because scripture says what? And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right and on his left. And this is exactly what that is right here. Here's an illustration to convey what scriptures are saying. There go to the Lord and the host of heaven on his left and on his right. This is your Most High. This is what the world has been deceived to believe is the creator. And we the only niggas out here, creator gang, is telling you that this is not the Most High creator. This is a false god, a deity, assuming to be the creator, and got your ass believing it. That's the whole thing of what we bringing. That's the nutshell of what we bringing to the table. That you've been duped to believe that this man you looking at right now, whether if this nigga was jet black as coal, or whether he was white as snow, regardless of what complexion he is, the idea that you entertain that this is the Most High is the greatest deception Satan has ever played on you niggas. The greatest deception is not if Satan existed or not. The greatest deception is you believing that the creator is in the image of a man sitting on a throne. It don't get no worse than that. It don't get no worse than that, other than snatching a life. This is the greatest deception the false gods ever have played on humanity, to put in the minds of men and women and children to believe that the creator is a man sitting on a throne. And right here in your Bible, it confesses that. While in the OAHSPE, let's get it. Let's cross compare the note. Watch this. Let's get the OAHSPE. Let's get the Book of the Ark of Bond 423, cut and dry. It's cut and dry. Book of the Ark of Bond 423 is cut and dry. Book of the Ark of Bond 423 is cut and dry. Right here. Right here. Look what that say. What that say? This is the OAHSPE Bible, Book of the Ark of Bond, chapter 4, verse 23. Behold, I am the ever-present, and not in the image, in the figure or image of a man, but I am the all space and place. Right here in the OAHSPE, Jehovah is telling you, the Creator is telling you, or Maz is telling you, behold, nigga, I am the ever-present, and not in the figure or image of a man. Now that's nigga talk. What do I mean when I say nigga talk? Meaning, nigga, it's plain and simple. I ain't gonna get deep on you. I ain't gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna give it to you direct. And that's what this is saying. So if a nigga can't understand this, a nigga lost. And if a nigga hold on to the fact that your God is in the image of a man, you sinning against the Creator. You being blasphemous before the Creator. Because the Creator right here is saying, behold, I am the ever-present, not in the figure or image of a man. I am not this. That's what Creator's saying. I am not that. Behold, I am not that what you're looking at right now. That ain't me. Whoever told you that lied to you. And whoever told you that gotta reap and pay for that. You gotta reap all them people right here that's looking up to him. You see everybody looking up to him? He owed them an apology. And I know I said I was the Most High. I was lying to you niggas. They're gonna run up on that throne and start whooping his ass, and he gonna end up in the hell now. When these folks, when these hosts, the host of heaven realize that this nigga's a liar and he's false, they're gonna run up on him. OAHSPE talk about that. OAHSPE talk about how these false gods set up kingdoms of their own, get humans and angels to believe that they're the Most High, and then when they scheme fall apart and they hosts realize this nigga not the Most High, that's when the anarchy be happening. That's when war on earth happen. Religious wars start taking place on earth because the false God has been exposed. And once his heaven go up in hell, his dominions on earth gonna go up in hell. As above, so below. OAHSPE shows you this. OAHSPE explains that. But these biblical niggas don't understand that. All the Elder Yaras, the JJs, and the goddamn whole house of Israel, Nathaniel, Tazariah, General Yohana, all these niggas is under the auspice that they God and they Most High sits on the throne. And all these niggas is headed to damnation. Because once they find out that they God is false, they're going to want vengeance on their God. They don't know that part, though. They still stuck here. They still stuck with the idea that they God sits on the throne because scriptures say they still there with it. They still adding and subtracting with it. Nigga, we over here multiplying and dividing this bitch. They still over here trying to add and subtract. We trying to tell these niggas like, bro, y'all niggas better, y'all better step y'all shit up because in a minute that shit you thinking is the Most High is going to come out to be false. We trying to let you niggas know early. Regardless of how you hate the OAHSPE or regardless of how you can't stand John Blanc Nubro, but what's being spoken about your Most High, you can't deny that. You can't deny that this is an object of worship. Thou shalt not worship no idols. An idol is an object of worship. Your God right here is an object of worship. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne. That's an object of worship. That's an idol. What's an idol? Look what it say when you look up the word idol, the definition. Look what it say. Yeah, hold on. Right there. An object of extreme devotion. See? See that? A representation or symbol of an object of worship. That's what an idol is defined as. An idol is defined as an object of extreme devotion and then a representation or symbol of an object of worship. This is a representation. This is a representation. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne. That's the representation. The Lord on his throne is the object of worship. In return, you're idol worshiping. But you think that don't apply to your God. How foolish of you. Your God got you niggas so deceived that he's an idol of worship and you niggas can't distinguish that. while the very definition is saying a representation or symbol of an object of worship is an idol. And while your Bible is saying, I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and the depiction is showing you that, and then the OAHSPE comes and Enjo dissipates your belief by saying, behold, I am the ever-present and not in the figure or image of a man. So with that, I am the all space and place. So with that, this can't exist. This don't exist to us. You got a nigga on that dag, got you niggas believing he the Most High. That's your Most High right there. But listen to the words of your Most High. That's just me exposing that he's an object of worship. Let's get into these niggas' words. And he said, hear thou, therefore, the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him, on his right hand and on his left. The Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said, on this manner, and another said, on that manner. Now listen to this. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Now hold up. Ain't there a verse that talk about not entertaining spirits? Let me see if I can find that. Hold up. Let me see if I put that in my notes. Hold tight. Everybody hold tight. Hold up. Watch this. Let me find that verse. So let me show you they contradicting, they double-minded God. Hold on, let me put this in there. Bible verse. I know it's Leviticus. All right, let's go to Leviticus 19:31. Let's go to Leviticus 19:31. That's just one. Leviticus 19:31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them and the Lord your God. So he's saying, like, don't seek out familiar spirits. But hold up. See if I can find another verse. It's another one. But all these verses really show and prove right here. See that? Isaiah 8:19, what that say? And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mute mutter, should not a people seek unto their God for the living to the dead? Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Hold up. Nah. Hold up. It was another verse. I entertain spirits. Yeah, something like that. Let me see. Let's go to Leviticus 20:27. Different verses talking about entertaining spirits. A man also or a woman that hath a familiar spirit or that is a wizard shall surely be put to death. They shall stone him with stone, their blood shall be put upon them. And that's a person who entertains a familiar spirit. So, let me see if I can find another verse. Let's talk about that. Hold on. Let me see something. I will set my face against anyone who turns to mediums and spiritists to prostitute themselves by following them, and I will cut them off from their people. Right? So they talking about anybody who entertains spirits. Like if you entertain spirits, right? Like I read earlier, a man or a woman who is a medium or a spiritist among you shall be put to death. That's what the Lord's saying. So anybody that entertains a spirit, you know what I mean? You basically are cast out. You're going to be put to death. Let's see. Now look at this here, right? This Deuteronomy 18:10. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in the fire, who practice divination or sorcery, interpret omens, engage in witchcraft, or cast spells, or who is a medium or spiritist, or who consult the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord, because these same detestable practices the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. Now, it says here, who consult the dead. Now, when we go back to Kings now, right? When we go back to Kings, and it says, and he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on the throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing on his left and right, right? The Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead. And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. So the Lord, this is the Most High, sitting on his throne, asking like, yo, who gonna go up against Ahab? Who gonna persuade him? But look what verse 21 say. And there, hold up, hush, Noonie. And look what it say. Look what it say, right? All right. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Now look, it says a spirit. But look what it was saying the whole time up here, though. Look what it said in Leviticus. A man or woman who hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. A familiar spirit. This is a familiar spirit right here. There came forth a spirit. That's a person of the dead they're referring to right there. Look what it says. Who consult the dead? Spiritists. Mediums. This spirit is playing as a medium. This spirit is a spirit of the dead that came before the Lord. So the Lord is telling you in one breath, do not consult the spirits of the dead. But in another breath, he's consulting the spirits of the dead in this matter. You got the Most High engaged in this. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord, a spirit of the dead, of a dead person, and said, I will persuade him. And look what the Lord said. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, now the Spirit and the Lord are engaging in the very same practice that he said we should not do. Communicating with spirit, communicating with a medium. The Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and not only that, I will be a lying spirit. I will be a lying spirit. Not only is he a spirit of the dead, now he's a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail. Also, go forth and do so. So the Lord agrees for this spirit of the dead to be a lying spirit in the mouth of the prophets, of these particular prophets of the opposition. And look what it said. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit. The Lord had put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil against them. Not only is the Lord communicating with the spirit of the dead, he's allowing the spirit of the dead to be a lying spirit, and the Lord is putting the lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets. But now, look what the Lord says in Proverbs 12:22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. Wait a minute. How can this be? How can lying lips be an abomination to the Lord when the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets? So why would the Lord in one verse say lying lips are abomination to the Lord, and then in return the Lord used lying lips or a lying spirit to go forth concerning evil? That's double-mindedness. The Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, but then turn around and say lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. So what makes the Lord in 1 Kings 22:23, if lying lips are an abomination and the Lord himself has put out a lying spirit, what makes that of the Lord? A goddamn abomination. Your God is an abomination. Let's go to Strong's. You remember James Strong's, the white man who wrote every Hebrew and Greek definition? Hush. Let's see what abomination means. Toi iba. To abba. It's a feminine noun. What does abomination mean? A disgusting thing. Your Lord sending out a lying spirit is a disgusting thing. Yo, this is wild. Disgusting is the Lord for sending out lying spirits. You tell me you couldn't resolve this in no other fashion? This is the Most High we talking about. Look what it say. Hush. Proverbs 21:27-28. That's it. An abomination, something abominable, things which are an abomination to Jehovah. It's loose. Chat vibes. All right, so look, an abomination is a detestable, disgusting thing. The Lord is a disgusting thing, according to this text. Look at that. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, a disgusting thing. So see that? That's what I'm saying, my nigga. Y'all got these contradictions hanging over your head. Now it's a whole website dealing with contradictions, double-mindedness of their God, right? Read a couple of these. The Sabbath day, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, Exodus 20, verse 8. One man estimate one day above another estimate every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Romans, Pauline doctrine. See that? They got the Pauline doctrine in contradiction to the to Shabbat. Permanence of the earth abides forever, Ecclesiastes 1:4. The elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up, 2 Peter 3:10. See that? The earth shall abide forever. And then they could have added to that and there was a new earth and a new heaven and a new earth. See that? Seeing God. Genesis 32:30. I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. John 1:18. No man have seen God at any time. That's a death blow. These 3 words right here is a death blow, at any time. And they could have also added to that Moses. Moses seen God face to face too. Let's get that real quick. All right, enough of your false God. Moses seen God face to face. Oh. There you go. There you go, right there. There you go. And the Lord spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaketh to his friend. He gave you context behind that. They just ain't give you the verse. Like, they gave you context behind it. As a man speaketh to his friend. So now, we got, I have what? Seen God face to face. The Lord spoke unto Moses face to face as a man speaketh unto his friend. But then John comes around and say, no man have seen God at any time. John's saying something different. Human sacrifice. Human sacrifice. Thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. Leviticus 18:21. Now we got Judges 11:30 through 31. In Judges, thou, the tale of Jephthah, who led the Israelites against the Ammonites, is being told, being fearful of defeat. This good religious man sought to guarantee victory by getting God firmly on his side. So he prayed to God, if thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be that whosoever cometh forth of the door of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it as a burnt offering. Well, that's that joint. The terms were accepted to God. Remember, he is supposed to be omniscient and know the future. So he gave victory to Japhethai, and the first whosoever that greets him upon his glorious return was his daughter, as God surely knew would happen. As God surely knew would happen, right? If God is God, true to his vow, the general made a human sacrifice of his only child to God. Judges 11:29-34. That's true. If God is omnipresent, if God knows everything, he knew that his daughter was going to come out. That's crazy, yo. Matthew 19:26. With God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. Judges 1:19. This Cosmo shit right here. The Lord was with Judah, and he drove out the inhabitants of the mountain. But what happened? But what, Cosmo? But could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley because they had chariots of iron. The Lord could not drive out those in the valley because those in the valley had chariots of iron. And this is the Lord, this is the Most High we're talking about. Personal injury. Thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wood for wood, stripe for stripe. Exodus 21:23-25. Matthew 5:39. Ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. Circumcision. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Now keep in mind, when I done heard Tazariak talk about we don't need to keep circumcision, don't mean nothing, or whatever the case may be. Very judgmental on that. It ain't about for you to be judging. It's about following the laws of instructions and keeping your mouth shut. Galatians 5:2. If ye be circumcised, Christ shall not profit you nothing. See that? See what Paul got niggas out here doing? Oh, man, you ain't got to worry about circumcision. It's nothing. But the Old Testament, this is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man shall among you shall be circumcised, cut and dry. What you mean it means nothing? Based off your logic. Now look. Hold on, let me scoot down to something. Punishing crime. Ezekiel 18:20. The son shall not bear the iniquities of the father. Exodus 25. I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children on the third and fourth generation. See that? See the contradictions? He's a jealous God. Jealous. Exodus 25. Let's get that in the Strongs. Exodus 20, verse 5. Let's get that in the Strong's Concordance, the white man. See, niggas be over here getting deep in the Bible, want to get to the Hebrew, but they forget about that goddamn white man over your heads, pulling your strings like a puppet, defining these words for you. But you want to talk about John Nubro. Now, where we at? Where the jealous and angry God at? There you go. Let's see what jealousy. Jealous. Damn, look what jealous is. Quana. Quana. Kana. See that? See that? FOP? Quana? Jealous ass nigga. Jealous ass nigga. So look, this is Kana. Means jealous in Hebrew. It ain't got no real definition, but saying jealous. Nigga, we want to know what the word jealous mean, and you giving us the word. That's not helping. Let's see if we can find a root word. All right, we got the primary root word, which is kana. Look at that. Quana jealous ass. Look what it says. To envy, be jealous, be envious, be zealous. So your Lord is envious. He's an envious God. Your Lord is an envious little nigga. I can't stand you little niggas. That's your Lord, yo. That's your Most High. Quana, your Most High. That's crazy. Temptation. Look at this on the temptation. This is funny. James 1:13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempt he any man. Neither tempt he any man. Cut and dry. Genesis 22:1. And it came to pass after these things that what? God did tempt Abraham. This is the double-minded nature of God. Showing you in one breath, neither tempt he any man, and then showing you God did tempt Abraham. The double-minded nature of God. Job 7:9. He that goes down to the grave shall come up no more. See, a lot of niggas will read this and be like, nah, nigga, when you dead, that's it. You just dead. They're thinking of the flesh body. John 5:28-29. The hour is coming in which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice and shall come forth. See that? Even that's misleading because they're still looking at the flesh body. They got you believing that when you die, your spirit is going to be sitting in the grave with your dead body until you hear the voice, and then your spirit from the grave is going to rise. Oh, man, the ignorance. You know what? That's enough right there, yo. That's enough. That's enough of that. That's enough of that, bro. That's enough of that, yo. It's a blood clot vibes. Family, your boy Selah Shalom is gonna go ahead and sign out. I got a couple things I gotta do. If I run, make some errands, you don't know the vibes. It's a blood clot vibes. Yeah, we may vibe out a little later on, you know what I mean? You never know what the vibes may hold for this evening. Yeah. Until then, your boy Selah Shalom is out of here. Salute to the Creator gang. Let me see them vortexes in the chat. We up out of here, family.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com. Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.